The latest Vitali in Philippines jail saga. Was that what we're gonna call it? I don't actually know. But if you're new to this channel, what's up? My name is Gato. I cover a lot of things that interest me, whether it's lifestyle, relationships, but also places I want to travel. And one of them is the Philippines. So I am not one of those people who are just jumping on the bandwagon to try to get easy views. If you look in the description, I have a playlist full of videos that I was talking about. We were reacting to and learning about the Philippines here on this channel before all this started happening. So you want to check that out and see what I learned. But today we're going to be trying to catch up on everything. I'm a small creator, so I'm not able to bring out and produce videos just as quickly as other people. I work yesterday I worked from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I'm trying my best. So please forgive me if my videos at the time of you watching them may be out of date. That being said, today we're going to be reacting to a legal mindset video, which is Vitali's jail hell, no AC, shared cell, 120 food a day, $1.20 food a day, and no streaming. Obviously, well, he's going to be in jail. So,
All right, let's get to the power
oh, and link to the original videos always in the description. If you want to support me and you like my conversations, consider subscribing.
point. Of course, we've got the Vitali update. Do you like that? I got the Philippine flag instead of the Korean flag for this one.
The PP.
Shout out. Nice little PP here. All right. What are the charges? And this is not all inclusive. These are just the ones that were listed objectively. So all of those other channels that are going to make videos on Vitali, please copy this because this is the accurate information. This is what the secretary said. So I'm going off of his exact words, and the things he said might be charged or are going to be charged. Attempting to grab and kiss and grab a security guard, trying to seize a service firearm, taking videos without consent, mocking security guards, vlogging without a permit because you need a permit in BGC, harassment of an old woman.
That part, all of these are very serious, but that one was the one that was like, it felt like I was watching. I don't know if you have ever seen the show Black Mirror, which I think their new season's coming. I'm not getting paid by them, by the way. I'm not sponsored by Netflix, but it's like one of those like weird. You got to see the show Black Mirror to understand what I'm saying. It's like one of those like in the distant future, something weird happens because of technology. That one was probably the most like weird. Like it was just strange. Like it felt like it was out of a TV show strange. Where he goes to the woman, the camera, like imagine being that woman, you got the camera on your face right here coming at you, and then you got Vitality trying to pretend to rob you, but then when he doesn't get the response that he wanted, he tries to give you money. It's like this like it's like a weird episode of Black Mirror. I don't know if you for the Black Mirror fans out there, you will understand exactly what I'm describing. If you haven't seen the show, you should watch it and then come back and then be like, "Oh, okay, now I know what you mean." It's just like a weird, like a what timeline are we in? That was probably the one that was like all of them serious, but that one was crazy.
Harassment of a Boracay instructor. That's a lot, and that's not all. By the way, on top of this, he also crashed a trike, and he also threatened to rob.
Did he crash a trike, or did he steal the bike? Technically, right? That part was. He could have. Let's say that was the only thing he did. Right, was get on that bike and move it. What would have happened if it accidentally? I don't think it would have accidentally started, right? Because the cop had the keys, or the security guard had the keys. But what would have happened if someone crashed into him? Someone could have gotten seriously hurt. So it's just something to like, even if it's like smaller things, you may never know what could have happened. Like ignore all these other ones. If it was just that, there's a possibility someone could have really got hurt. Just for him goofing off.
A woman. That's on top of all of this. On top of all this. But the gun thing, the trying to take his gun, oh man. Oh man. And that's just possible. This is not all inclusive.
And I think people need to understand the way law works is just because they say this doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get them on everything. But it shows that all these things are possible. And when you show that there's, you know, a lot of these things that are possible, it means that they're really actually looking at every single little thing he did. And that's kind of like the idea of what good investigations, good detectives do is like they don't just wait. So like bad detective work is like, okay, we'll just take the top 3 things and then go off that. No, what you're doing is, well, we're going to try to create as many possible things. And if only one of them stick, who cares? We tried everything. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole point is it's not about what's going to stick and what's not going to stick. It's about trying to ask and see if you can get everything up for grabs. And I think that's fair. I think that's valid.
Next, these are the consequences. FAFO. Fully detained. That means he cannot get out until the court hearing is finished. The court in the Philippines is packed, and it's very backed up. It's super slow, which means 2 to 3 years before trial.
Jesus Christ. That's tough. So like, not saying this is going to happen again, not saying this is going to happen. But let's take somebody else. Let's say that person is going to jail for like 3 months, right? Someone random. They're not going to jail for 3 months. They're going to jail for 2 years and 3 months or 3 years and 3 months. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the real punishment isn't those 3 months. It's the sitting and waiting. Which I also want to say people were kind of giving shit to the Philippines for being harsh. I don't think I think the Philippines are being very fair and doing what a democracy would do, right? There are countries where if you commit a crime, you don't get no trial, you get no defense attorney, you get nothing. They just take you, lock you in a cave somewhere, and you disappear. And then in 20 years, they deport you. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and you can't even find you. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's countries out there that will just straight, yeah, they would just murder you for, you know what I mean, like as punishment, even if you're not guilty, right? If they suspect you of a crime, they'll just do it. So, as harsh as the Philippines is, I still want to say it's not the worst. Like, there's countries out there who are not democracies that will straight up, oh, too bad. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that he's even getting a trial is still like a sign that the Philippines is doing the right thing, doing what needs to be done properly.
We have a guaranteed minimum, even if he was not guilty, of 2 to 3 years. Amazing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know what would be funny? Not saying y'all should do this, but you know what would be really, really funny? It's like after those 3 years, right? You guys are like, he served his time, and we'll drop the charges. And then you do it. But like right before he leaves, you just say it was a prank, bro. just like just gaslight him. It's a prank, bro. Or not him, just anybody, right? That would be really nah, I guess not anybody. That's messed up. But like another vlogger, right? That's like he's probably gonna get off, right? But it's funny that they still have to stay there for that long, and they're just like, it's a prank, bro.
Amazing. Next, he will not receive special treatment. He will have the same meals, 70 pesos, $1.20 per day.
Jesus.
He's sharing a
which, by the way, can somebody tell me what that looks like calories wise? Like how many calories is that person getting? Because if you think about it, I just want to point this out. It's not like you can have cheap food and have good calories. But what you need to pay attention to is he's a bigger, buffer guy. With that body type, you need more calories or else your body's going to start to suffer hard. So, ironically, him being more in shape and fit and stuff like that is actually going to be more harmful for him and more of a punishment because of that. So, you guys got to remember that. It's a little bit, you know, people think just because you're in shape and muscular, you can you can you can withstand more, but sometimes if you don't have the calories in the food, your body's going to hurt, your body's going to it's going to suffer for that physically.
jail cell with multiple inmates.
And that part is, I mean, hey, any prison where you're with multiple inmates, it's dangerous, right? No matter what. But apparently, it's not even that it's multiple. They're packed in there like they pack them in there. So you just, even if they were all the nicest people in the world, it don't matter. It's crowded, it's miserable, you're suffering, you're not having a great time. So it's just think it's really, really funny. Um, Not funny, but it's just like even if they were all the nicest people in the world, you would still not be having a good time because there's so many people in such a small space. It's like I bet you you can't even think.
He's going to have multiple Filipinos in that jail cell with him and no air conditioning. The average temperature, not including the kind of winter, um, is 97 degrees
Jesus Christ.
Fahrenheit. 97 degrees.
And I think people aren't taking this part serious. Because everyone's like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna get him." No, what you don't understand is, let's say they obviously jail is gonna be what it is. What's really something y'all need to consider, and probably the most extreme part about all these, is this part right here. Imagine being trapped in a sauna you cannot get out. Imagine you're just sweating, you're miserable, you're high stress, high blood, your blood pressure is high because it's so hot, right? Like it's one of those things where like if you've ever lived in the heat or been in the heat so long, you feel it physically. It starts altering your body and it starts messing with your brain. One of the biggest things about heat is that it literally could fry your brain. People suffer memory loss, people suffer they get develop signs of Alzheimer's earlier on in their life because of the high amount of stress that comes from that constant heat and constant discomfort. It's it'll really mess you up here, right? So imagine it's so hot, and then you got all these people breathing. Also, their bodies are now trapping that heat and releasing the heat. So now the whole room is getting hotter. So it's like a sauna that just keeps getting hotter. And then you're also your blood pressure is already high because it's so hot, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and it's like that every single day. So even if he's only there for 2 or 3 years, those 2 or 3 years of no air conditioning and constant heat on his mind and his body is going to be punishment. No matter how you cut it, no matter how long you're there, that right there is one of the biggest things that people need to understand. Because let's say he wasn't let's say he was in a cell by himself. He cannot escape the effects of heat with no air conditioning. This is something if you have the only way to escape this is to have air conditioning. Because if not, you are stuck with this. And the effects of it will affect him forever.
Crazy.
So I just want to say that that's like it's people aren't understanding how serious this part is.
Crazy. Um, yeah. Let's continue.
Oh, and also because he's a bigger, buffer guy, he's gonna get warmer faster. So it's like literally he will be cooked every day. It's like you're putting him in the oven every fucking day. Like that's crazy.
Legal nuisances. So this is actually oh sorry. This I really meant to talk about legal consequence for nuisance streamers. But anyways, legal nuisances. The law regarding nuisances, right? So this is something that was explained to me by a Filipino lawyer. So I want to explain it to you guys. So in the Philippines, there's a difference of the law. There's a difference between the special penal law and the revised penal code. And according to this Philippines lawyer, once again, this is the Philippines lawyer that explained it to me. I'm not a Filipino lawyer, I'm an American attorney, but a Philippines lawyer explained this to me. They said that they may end up using the special penal code. Now, the normal revised penal code actually is mala in se, or malum in se, as we say in the US, which means you need proof of malice to convict somebody. However,
Which let's take the first example, like the traditional, like American version. Even if they did that, they may not get everything, but they can get most of them, almost all of them, because the intent when he started acting out is when kick.com, again, KICK.com, live streaming platform kick.com, decided to put him on the front page, essentially incentivizing this behavior, is when he started doing it. And he would repeatedly talk about it with his cameraman, by the way, who I believe, I don't know if at the time of this video he's been caught or not, about how they're on the front page and people want to see it. So they have the intent of him being a nuisance, right? So even in America, you're not going to be able to get every single charge, but because he recorded himself doing all this, you can get, if not 99% of them, 90%. Still really, really good. But let's learn about this other one.
Under the special penal code, it's malum prohibitum or mala prohibitum, which means the mere act of doing it is enough. So they do not have to prove intent. They just have to prove that he did the action. And if he did the action, he's guilty. So if he gets the special penal just for doing the act, he's cooked. He's cooked.
No matter, I mean, in fairness, I think even if he did any of them, it doesn't matter. If you're cooked at 99% versus 100, you're still cooked. You see what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, if he, yeah, he's cooked no matter what. He's cooked. Even if he's sitting in jail for 3 years, he's literally cooked. No matter what, he's cooked. But yeah, no, it's definitely going to get worse if they do the mala prohibitum. So interesting.
Because that's the special penal code. It's mala prohibitum. The act is enough. Just the action is enough. Usually you have to have what's called mens rea. That's a state of mind, right? So typically for many crimes, you have to have a certain state of mind. That would be like, for example, for a first degree murder in the US, you have to intentionally murder somebody. Intentional murder. That's first degree. You have a mens rea, you have malice, you have thought. If it's a crime that is malum prohibitum, that's something like underage drinking, right? In America, if you drink under 21, that would be it, right?
You're basically cooked at that point.
Or if you're driving over a certain blood alcohol content. So if you're drunk,
what he's saying is drunk driving
in the US, if you have a BAC of like, whatever, 0.2 or something or whatever, or 0.02, whatever it is, you have a BAC that's high. It doesn't matter whether you intended or didn't intend it, or whether you had good intent or bad intent. If your blood alcohol content is too high, you're guilty, period. That's malum prohibitum.
Now, the only time so drunk driving is you're going to jail no matter what. The only time, I want to say this is a fun fact. The only time that somebody was let go for, or I guess not the only time, that there's tons of drunk driving cases of people being let go, but the only time that the case was thrown out was because there was a guy, not, I guess not the only time, I guess there's a bunch of times. American justice. But the funniest one, I would say, or craziest one, was there was this guy who had a specific disease where he can function normally, but his blood alcohol, like it's something about like his body fermented or some crazy stuff, something about that, where um he just straight up didn't, he was just like constantly drunk, even though he wasn't drinking. His body would just make him drunk all the time. So it's just crazy that like sometimes even the law, like you gotta, hey, you know. But most drunk driving, no, if you get pulled over and you're drunk driving, you're gonna get a consequence no matter what. It doesn't matter. Like they're not gonna let you drive off. That never happens.
Right. So if they use that code, he is in trouble. So
yeah. I mean, either way, no matter what, he's in trouble. He still's got to sit in prison he's got to sit in the Filipino oven basically for 2 to 3 years. It doesn't matter. He's cooked.
The overall circumstances can aggravate punishment. So this is something Rumula actually brought up, and I want to put a little point on this. So his behavior and the fact that he profited from this can actually make the punishment worse. They can use that as an aggravating factor to punish him even more severely.
And this is where not that I disagree, but this is where I think people need to understand where I'm coming from. I think all this is important, right? You want to show the world that if you do something small, you'll still get punished. Like if you, let's say you're going to jail for, like if some random person is going to jail for 3 months, you're still going to go to jail for those 3 months, even if it's not seemed as that serious. If the crime and the punishment is 3 months, you'll still do it. Because the thing is, you look at something like Vitali, right? An extreme case. It's easy to punish those people. It's easy to punish your Johnny Somalis because it's so all over the place. It's so in your face. You can't escape it. But you got to do the smaller ones too. But the real solutions, because the thing is, people are always going to find the line. Where's the line and how do I stay under it? The way you really, 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 really solve this issue is you stop the ability to make money. And so how do you do that? You need to find a way to hold some of these platforms accountable. Your Twitches and your Kicks. Kick.com. What punishment did they get? They put this man on the front page and rewarded him. The entire time that he was doing these crimes, he was on the front page. Again, I want to remind you, when he was committing these crimes, he was still on the platform. It was only until he was arrested that he was banned. So this whole notion that this is going to stop is not entirely true. The way you really stop this is you have a strong foundation, but you got to stop the money. You got to stop the money from flowing, or have some type of way to do that, right? Like, let's say another person comes to the Philippines from Kick. What is it? They just gonna throw him in jail? But then what happens if another one comes? Are you just gonna say, yeah, we just keep throwing him in jail? I think you just got to really ask yourself, is there ways for us to stop the money from flowing? And if not, then how do you do it? How do you do it? Right? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is crazy. He's actually literally physically cooked in an oven. So let me know. Love you guys. Check you on the next one. Bye-bye. This video is brought to you actually by viewers like you. Thank you so much for subscribing and being part of my journey and allowing me to be a part of yours. Let's create new memories this 2025 on our road to 1 million subscribers. And with all that jazz out of the way, I just want to say thank you so much. I love y'all and enjoy the video.